Welcome, everyone. Before we start the program tonight, and as people are coming in, I invite us, the ones that show up first, to connect to our heartbeats, to hold the ground for what is about to happen tonight. The resilience of all the activists, and to greet tonight with compassion and intention, also for the survivors, so that in this world, in this time, we may experience freedom, we may share the love with ourselves and with others. So connecting with your heartbeat, if you feel comfortable, you closing your eyes, or looking at the beautiful photos. And now connecting with the earth, this place we call home. Picturing a red light going down, down deep into the magma of the earth. Thanking the earth for everything that it does. Feeling the vibration of togetherness. We are all here as one. And so we are showing up for this cause, to celebrate and to honor. Remember your intention for tonight as you witness what is about to happen here tonight. Now we shift the focus to the area above the navel, your solar plexus chakra. This is the center of confidence. Personal power. And inner strength. As the sound travels to your solar plexus, imagine a yellow light glowing out. Like the sunshine. Allow this color and this light to fill you with determination and allow you to empower you. As you hear the sounds, allow the harmony of your being to permeate the space as you greet the person next to you and all those that are here. Your foundation is strong. Your inner power is radiant. Together we hold the power of stability and strength. Ready to honor the resilience and courage of those who inspire us tonight. As we sprinkle our presence and our light into this room, and we let these images permeate our intentions for tonight, I bring the wisdom of the Kogi people. They talk about how we are the caretakers of the earth. We are the caretakers of our brothers and sisters. Connecting with the sound of the Kogi chime. Let it just help you arrive into this space fully. You are here. Welcome. Let us honor the sacred balance and the interconnectedness of all beings. Again, imagining yourself standing on the earth, feeling its wisdom, its strength. Bring it up from your feet all the way up to your head, and from your head down to your feet. Feeling the current, feeling the strength, feeling the beauty. Taking a deep inhale, smiling a little bit. Welcome.
Good evening. Thank you all for being here. We're really always honored to have this opportunity to come together in community and in action and to really think about those issues that really matter to us, and that is a kind of collectivity that I think is so powerful and so important. And I'm so happy to be here at the Asia Society. My name is Rachel Cooper. I'm the Director of Culture and Diplomacy here. And I can't think of anything more important than the work that we're applauding tonight. Just a little bit about the Asia Society. I think many of you are familiar with our work, but if not, just to say that we're really committed to working and understanding Asia from a variety of different perspectives, whether that is from the arts, social issues, policy, comedy. It's really a place of ideas and a kind of haven. So I really encourage you to consider being a member, to bring us ideas. We're always really interested in listening and being a part of a larger discussion, and I think that's at heart what the Asia Society is all about. And I encourage you to follow our website. We always have new programs coming up and new initiatives. So I hope that you'll be a part of our ongoing mission. And tonight, we're really honored to be feting the work of APNIAP and some incredible awardees who are here tonight, who I think will inspire all of us. And let's get a big hand, actually, right now for APNIAP. So just to say a little bit about the evening, the flow of the evening, we'll have the awardees, some special things towards the end. We have books on sale outside, the incredible I Kick and I Fly, and The Freedom Seeker, and Nadia's book. And we have them available as you leave on the A level. And then we invite you all to come to a reception following the program. And that's really an opportunity for us to speak to each other, to get to know each other. There are a lot of new faces here, and to share our passions and our concerns. So it's a great honor. Again, we welcome you here to the Asia Society, and it is my honor to have Shubhra Prakash come up as our MC. Please give her a warm welcome.
Thank you, Rachel. Thank you, Natalia, for your beautiful music to open our ceremony. And good evening, everyone. My name is Shubhra Prakash, and I'll be your Master of Ceremony this evening for the Last Girl Awards. This is the 9th year for the Last Girl Awards, and I was part of running the very first Last Girl Awards back in 2017. So today, it's my privilege to be in company of trailblazers again, as we honor those who stand up for justice, for the spirit of the last girl. We are here in solidarity with those who have had the courage of speaking up. We must recognize the strength of not giving up and working towards ending sex trafficking and providing opportunities for the last girl. This evening is made possible by Apne Aap in partnership with Asia Society. Apne Aap means self-action in the Hindi language. It is an NGO working towards a powerful vision of a world where no girl or woman is bought or sold, where each girl or woman can realize her full potential, and where we end the demand for the purchase of sex. Apne Aap is focused on increasing the choices for the weakest and most marginalized girls and women from red light areas, including those trapped in intergenerational prostitution and marginalized communities. Apne Aap offers them access to education, healthcare, livelihood skills, legal protection, citizenship documents, government subsidies, friendship circles, and actions to deter the purchase of sex. So now let's get a glimpse of Apne Aap's impact.
सुरक्षा रोजगार
I hope the video made you feel connected to our shared humanity. Should you want to learn more about Apne Aap's work over the years, please visit apneaap.org. And now, please join me in welcoming Ruchira Gupta, the founder president of Apne Aap. Through her investigation, Ruchira exposed the tragic disappearance of girls from impoverished villages with whom she went on to found Apne Aap. Ruchira is an activist, author, an Emmy Award-winning storyteller, and professor at NYU. Through her latest novels published by Scholastic, I Kick and I Fly and The Freedom Seeker, Ruchira speaks directly to young adults, instilling in them the courage to stand firm against inequality and the hope to imagine a freer, fairer world. Please welcome Ruchira Gupta.
Thank you, Shubhra, and thank you, Asia Society and Rachel, for partnering with Apne Aap to host this evening where we give awards to those who have stood by the last girl. The last girl, to me, is the most vulnerable of all human beings because she suffers from intersecting inequalities, and those intersecting inequalities cut her off from access to her basic needs like food, clothing, shelter, even protection. And many of the honorees today are embodiments of people who have stood up for the last girl, been last girls themselves, survived, and went on to help others. The intersecting inequalities which make the last girl the most vulnerable of all human beings I know are poverty, they are poor, they are female, and they are teenagers, which already takes away their ability to make decisions for themselves or for their futures. On top of that, in India, they are from marginalized castes or religions, and in the United States, they could be Black or Native American. In Europe, they could be from ethnic minorities, refugees, or migrants. And as today one of our honorees, Nadia Murad, embodies, they could be in a conflict area. So all these intersecting inequalities cut off the last girl from being able to access what we take for granted. And that is what traffickers prey upon, to sexually exploit her, to buy her and sell her. And every year, today is the 9th Last Girl Awards. Every year we honor those who have used their resources, their skills, their courage, and all their abilities to help and stand by the last girl. Today, it is also my privilege to be here with a community who is sitting in the audience and who were cheering for me. I want to tell you all that I want to cheer you all back. Apne Aap does not observe a gala. We do an awards evening, and we want to build community and collaborate, which is why we do it in this way in the Asia Society, with all of you in the room, followed by a cocktails hour where we mingle, collaborate, and make friends. We do this not as a gala for another reason since COVID, because we truly believe that we cannot have a table where the price of the salmon is more than the price of a girl. So I want to thank I do want to thank Rachel Cooper for opening the doors of Asia Society for us to be enabled to do this. And that is what movements are about, where we connect with each other and share our stories and also support each other. Today, we will be honoring some amazing people who have stood by the last girl. And you will hear about them as the evening unfolds, but I want to take a moment to acknowledge them. There is Jackie Shapiro, who used to be in the Peace Corps and very involved with UN causes for years. I first met her in the United Nations, and then we became firm friends because of her activism. And she has supported Apne Aap through the work that we do and some of the videos and photographs that you saw, but also Apne Aap's advocacy in the UN and many other organizations like PACT, which works against child sexual tourism. Also, we have today Nadia Murad, who you already know about. She is a Nobel laureate. She's a peace activist. She's fighting for the rights of girls to go to school. She's an ISIS survivor, and she's used her exploitation and pivoted it into courage. So thank you, Nadia, for being with us. Also today we have Mary Mazzio, a filmmaker who has used her power of filmmaking and art to tell the story of the last girl, because very often she's in plain sight but invisible. And if we didn't have storytellers, we would not be able to bring attention to the last girls to you all. Then we have Taina Bien-Ami. She is a friend. A tireless advocate against sex trafficking, the director of Coalition Against Trafficking in Women, and someone who has one of the sharpest minds against all those traffickers who cannot outwit her when she decides to write an article or a petition to the UN. So thank you, Taina, for sharing this evening with us. And then we have Nicole Svengard, who is an activist mother. Nicole actually lost her daughter one day when she disappeared from school, and Nicole went on into the dark web, found her daughter, and activated the entire legal system and social media platforms to find her daughter, punish those who had groomed her online. And now she has turned it to a fight beyond just her daughter. She's fighting for daughters everywhere. So thank you, Nicole, for being here. I want all of you to listen closely to these heroic women and also to those who have joined us to present the awards. They themselves are activists in their own right. Elise Nelson is here, William Silverman is here, and I'm trying to see who else is in the audience to help us present the award, but Laurie Cohen is here. And thank you all for joining us to give the awards to our honorees, because your activism is also like a baton in a relay race, and we are passing on the race to the next lot of people. This room today is full of students, NGO leaders, and I want to acknowledge your role in fighting trafficking. Apne Aap is literally, the New York office is run by interns, Hudson Hort, and many, many NYU students. If you are here, thank you. And for your passion, hard work, and commitment in this struggle against sex trafficking. We could not do it without you. And then finally, we have some people who are on the advisory council of Apne Aap. Mona Sinha is here. Neha Vashi is here. Manira Alva is here. Lakshmi Shubha is here. So thank you, sisters, for being here. And without much ado now, I would like to hand the mic back to Shubhra as we imagine a world in which no girl is bought or sold.
Thank you, Ruchira. Everyone, please give her another round of applause. And now, it's time to celebrate the change makers who carry the spirit of the last girl and have bravely fought to make her visible, valued, and free. Each presenter and honoree here represents a beacon of hope, a voice for the voiceless, and a commitment to justice that transcends barriers, reminding us that our collective courage can turn silence into story, fear into action, and despair into dignity. So for our first award, the Last Girl Cultural Champion Award, shared by Mary Mazzio and Nicole Svengard, let's take a moment to watch the highlights of their powerful work and the impact they're making.
Trying to wrap my head around how you take a child that was a soccer star, a violinist, and 36 hours later, she's being sold on a website.
My favorite hobbies are soccer and violin. My favorite song is Crank That by Soulja Boy. When I grow up, I'd like to be a doctor.
There is a question as to what kind of society we're going to be, whether we're going to tolerate sexual trafficking in children. That is an affront to everything that we believe.
I want my daughter to hold her head high and know that none of this was her fault.
I am Jane Doe.
I am Jane Doe.
It's time for us all to stand up and be strong.
I am Jane Doe.
Please help me welcome Ruchira back to stage to present the Last Girl Cultural Champion Award to Nicole Swendgaard and Mary Mazzio. So we will be joined by Nicole on stage today, as Mary is deep in production work and not with us here physically. So Ruchira, I'll give you the mic.
Should I stand here? Yes. Mary Mazzio is a documentary maker who makes films to stand up for the last girl to fight for justice. She is not here today with us because she is making yet another film. I don't know if any of you have seen her documentary, I Am Jane Doe, but it was about a survivor of sexual exploitation, and she turned the documentary into a campaign, using it also to do advocacy on the Hill for changes in law, and including changes in law against very big companies like Meta, Facebook and Instagram and others who were using their platforms allowing the use of their platforms for traffickers to groom girls, recruit girls. And Mary actually went deep inside that, used the film to show what was happening and used it to change laws. So Apne Aap is very, very proud to present the award to Mary Mazzio, and along with her to someone who is an activist mother, Nicole Swendgaard. Nicole, would you come on stage?
You can.
Thank you. Let me give it to you first.
Okay.
Then you can speak.
This was not rehearsed before we got here, obviously.
Yeah, I'm not Mary.
So just a little bit about my story. In 2010, my world changed. I dropped my daughter off at school, as I did every morning, intending to pick her up after track practice that afternoon. She was very involved in sports. She played soccer. She wrestled in high school. She was joining the track team. She was a violinist. And like I said, in 36 hours, that changed. She was gone. She had been raped. She was being held captive in a basement. She later escaped that to make her way back home, only to find that everything had changed. Her family had changed, she had changed, and we tried to love her back to health. Well, 4 months later, she ended up going back to her trafficker. And she was gone for another 108 days. When I retrieved her that time, I knew we had to do things differently. Love was not going to fix this. It was going to take action. And I wanted my daughter to be that last girl. And here we are, 15 years later, still fighting the same fight. And for many of you, you know, this may be the first time you're hearing about it. And many of you have been involved for years. But it takes all of us speaking in one voice together. And that's what we're doing tonight. Standing in solidarity, saying no more. Today, I'm happy to report that we've gone through 14 years of court battles. We've closed down the website that sold my daughter. We've changed state law, federal law, international law. And it's because of people like Rashira and others that have stood beside me and stand beside those survivors that these changes are possible. And I appreciate being invited here and accepting this award on behalf of my daughter, because she is my hero. She is the true meaning of what it is to survive. And I have been so fortunate to watch her grow and recover. And I appreciate each and every one of you for being here and supporting Rashira and her work, the Asia Society for hosting us. Thank you.
Thank you, Nicole. And I'd like to play the acceptance speech by Mary, who's not here, but we will watch that now.
On behalf of the entire I Am Jane Doe team, I want to thank APNIAP for this extraordinary award. However, it's important that the credit go to Nicole Svengard, who is with you tonight. Nicole persevered for years on behalf of survivors and other children around the country who were seeking to hold Backpage and other online portals responsible for the harm that they caused. Thank you so much again, and have a wonderful night.
Thank you to Mary and Nicole for their work. For our next award, I'd like to invite William Silverman, head of the Pro Bono program at Proskauer. Bill has been a Last Girl honoree last year. He serves as counsel to the New York State Anti-Trafficking Coalition, dedicating his expertise to the fight against human trafficking and the protection of vulnerable communities. Please welcome Bill to please join us on the stage to present the Last Girl Human Rights Award to our honoree, Taina Bien Ami.
What the AAP statement does is perpetuate female genital mutilation. There is no other way around it. We always say that if there was political will to address sex trafficking, to address sexual harassment, to address sexual violence, including rape, we would be on a beach tomorrow, right? So we have to follow the money, we have to follow the power, and these sort of crimes are dealt with impunity generally because of the powerful men behind it, and because systems have failed women and women's rights and women's protection from violence for centuries, and that needs to end.
So, good evening. First of all, Nicole, you're an impossible act to follow, and I found your remarks extremely moving. I just want to say that first up. So, I spoke last year, and I must have done a really good job because they told me this year I only had a minute. Don't speak more than a minute, showing great confidence in my ability to speak. It is a profound honor to introduce a true force for justice and equality. But how can I do this in a minute? I'd like to explain how Taina has been on the front lines of the battle against gender-based violence and discrimination, but I don't have enough time to do that. I'd like to mention that she was a founding member of Equality Now, where she fought sex tourism and other forms of severe abuse and exploitation, but that would take more than a minute, so I'm not going to do that either. She also, I'd also like to mention that she is executive director of the Coalition Against Trafficking in Women. She's helped bring about such things as the U.S. Trafficking Victims Protection Act, the New York State Anti-Trafficking Act. She was named one of Forbes' 50 over 50 women making an impact. To mention all of that, I would need at least 5 minutes, I think. She is a great leader, a brilliant strategist. She is someone who believes in and fights for the rule of law, but also, I think, a kind and wonderful person. Now, at this point in my remarks, I'd like to make a snarky comment about how the world is lacking kindness, how the rule of law doesn't seem to apply anymore, but you simply don't do that in a 1-minute introduction. So I won't do that. Please join me in welcoming to the stage the extraordinary, the tireless, and the inspiring defender of human rights, Taina Benemay.
Wow, Bill. How long have we known each other, Bill? Forever, right? We wouldn't, the New York State Anti-Trafficking Coalition, what started, I don't even remember, but it wouldn't have happened, nor would New Yorkers for the Equality Model happen without Bill and Proskauer. So deeply, deeply grateful. Thank you, everyone. I, too, only have 1 minute, so I will talk very fast. It's a true honor to be here tonight, especially to be counted among these extraordinary warriors for women and girls. It's always important to acknowledge that recognition like this does not come in a vacuum. I wouldn't be standing here without the love and support of my family, in particular my partner, Veronica Jordan. I don't know if she's made it or not. And our sons, Milan and Ali, who are not here tonight. And I also accept this phenomenal award on behalf of the Coalition Against Trafficking in Women, whose work could not be accomplished without my amazing colleagues, Nora, Georgia, and Melanie. I don't know if Nora and Georgia are here, and the commitment of our board of directors, so thank you. I was at the UN all morning for presentations by UN Women, by the UN Special Rapporteur on Violence Against Women and Girls, and others about the state of women and girls' rights globally. And breaking news, it's very, very grim. But as I was listening to one powerful government after another, the United Kingdom, Canada, New Zealand, Australia, the United States, just stringing words together to defend the commodification of women and promote the commercialization of their bodies and their lives, I was getting more and more despondent and angry. Then I thought, wait, hold up a minute. What's this business as usual pattern that we're so used to listening to? These are all countries who colonized my African ancestral foremothers, my indigenous sisters, my marginalized past fellow warriors. And for centuries, For centuries, they have justified and sugar-coated the sex trafficking, the prostitution, the surrogacy, and the overall buying and selling of women and girls on every market they can find for their own profit and for the growth of their nations. So then I thought, well, even though anger is a very powerful sentiment to have, it fuels so many of us, that, it's really time to remember the importance of storytelling, and that this is a 5,000-year journey that proves that we are here to fight the patriarchy. And it's also a testament to organizations like APNIAP and the utmost storyteller, Ruchira, who, without them, we would not be able to resist and hold accountable governments who betray us, who betray women and girls every single day. So I'd like to end with a quote from my fellow honoree, Nobel Peace Prize laureate, Nadia Murad, who said, "I want to be the last girl in the world with a story like mine." So yes, Nadia, yes, everyone, let's continue to fight until no woman and girl is ever bought and sold. Thank you.
Please give Taina another round of applause. In the center, if you don't mind. Yes, thank you. Thank you. It's all good. Thank you. Every story you hear tonight is a call to action and a reminder that our collective effort matters. Now, please join me in welcoming Lori Cohen, the Executive Director of Protect All Children from Trafficking, or PACT. Lori has trained law enforcement, judges, social workers, and healthcare professionals, and has advocated for legislative change at every level of government. Would you please join us on stage, Lori, to present the Last Girl Leadership Award to honoree Jackie Shapiro. As we prepare to welcome Jackie to stage, let's first watch a video that celebrates her tireless advocacy, leadership, and the lives she has touched through her work.
Thank you. Am I on? Yeah, great. Thank you so much. It's really a joy to be here with colleagues who I have just admire so much, and it's just a thrill to work alongside so many of you, and also heroes of mine, Nadia Murad. It's really exciting to be here this evening to celebrate all these fabulous leaders. And I'm particularly grateful for the opportunity to present this award to Jackie Shapiro, not for many reasons, not the least of which Jackie hired me for this job. And so, Jackie, you get an award just for hiring me, so thank you. So my name is Lori Cohen. I'm the Chief Executive Officer of Protect All Children from Trafficking, formerly ECPAT USA, which is the name of the organization that when Jackie was our chair of the board, and persuaded me that really this is where I wanted to be because the mission to protect all our children is so urgent and so critical. Jackie has been a tireless champion on behalf of all children globally. She was the co-founder of Girl Be Heard. As was mentioned previously, she has been involved in the UN, and even after serving as the chair of PAC's board of directors and joining our Emeritus Council, she continues to be a driving force on our UN committee alongside some of our other wonderful UN committees members who are here tonight, Elizabeth Shulman and Rosalie Keach. What I want to say about Jackie, it's just been such a privilege and a delight to work alongside her. She is passionate, she is so thoughtful, and she's an extraordinary writer. Before we had ChatGPT, before we had Claude, I would call Jackie and say, Jackie, I need a statement for the UN on the Commission on the Status of Women. Boom, it was out. Jackie would do it. We needed something on the Committee on the Rights of the Child, the optional protocol to prevent the sale of children for prostitution and for child pornography. Boom, Jackie would knock it out. And it's not just that she's a wordsmith with passion and with feeling, and ChatGPT just can't cut it in comparison. So Jackie, I just want to thank you so much, and please accept this award. Stand.
First of all, I want to say I don't think Tahina is over 50. UN Secretary General Kofi Annan once said that trafficking in persons is perhaps the most egregious of all human rights violations. This is particularly true for children because it robs them of the joy of childhood and of their dreams. I'd like to congratulate all of the awardees tonight for their outstanding and important work to end human trafficking. The International Labor Organization has said that there are over 2.7 million people every year who are engaged in forced labor. Of these, 30% only are women and girls, but 70% of the profits are from sexual exploitation of women and girls. The ILO has also told us that the annual profits from forced labor are $236 billion a year, mostly from crime networks. So these are important things to consider in our fight to end human trafficking. We must bankrupt the business of human trafficking. And how do we do that? We have to get countries everywhere to adopt stronger laws, to enforce those laws, and to have penalties that will make it impossible for people to want to risk trafficking. I would like to thank Rashira and APNA. Rashira and I go back a long, long way, 30 years. When I first met her, she was consulting for UNICEF, consulting for UNIFEM. She was a lawyer, she was a filmmaker, and then she founded APNA, and it has a particular niche in society because it really gives employment, it gives hope, and it gives a new life to people who have lost their dignity. So thank you, Rashira. Thank you, APNA. I would give a shout out to PACT and Lori, but I think we've seen a little bit about PACT. When PACT was started 35 years ago, people in the United States did not believe child trafficking happened here in the United States. It was something that happened someplace else, rather than in every state, in communities large and small. So it's important that we advocate on every level, which PACT does, especially national legislation, to end human trafficking. I would like to announce the Tadani Foundation, of which I am the vice president, has created for tonight an annual Last Girl Award to be given to a student or student organization that is working to end human trafficking. And one more little anecdote. I got a birthday card from a friend today, and in it, she said, "Oh, I heard you're getting the Last Girl Award," and in it was a check for $1,000 for APNA. And it turns out that the person who wrote it was the sister of a publisher of one of Rashira's books. So it's a small world. But I have to say, Hillary Clinton used the old African proverb, "It takes a village," to say that we need to all be involved in this. So it's important that every single person here commit themselves to the efforts of APNA and the Coalition Against Trafficking of Women to end human trafficking now. Thank you.
Another round of applause for Jackie Shapiro, everyone. Thank you, Jackie. Please join me in welcoming Mona Sinha, a globally recognized advocate of gender equality, executive director at Equality Now, and a visionary leader who has served on the board of APNA for many years. Now let's take a moment to honor Saida Hamid, who is not here today, but we will be watching a very special video highlighting her lifelong contributions. We will be presenting her with the Lifetime Achievement Award.
Good evening, everybody. It gives me so much pleasure to honor someone whose shoulders we stand upon. Dr. Saeeda Hamid is a former member of the Planning Commission of India and a former member of the National Committee for Women. She's a feminist and a writer who is widely recognized for her passionate engagement in public affairs and social issues, especially for women, minorities, and peace. She is the founder member of the Muslim Women's Forum, and in 2000, Dr. Hamid toured all over India listening to the voices of Muslim women who came out in hundreds to public hearings which were held across the country. This exercise led to a landmark report, Voice of the Voiceless, Status of Muslim Women in India. Its recommendations were presented to the government, to religious bodies, to civil society for policy formulation. However, another series of meetings and public hearings continued, which did not reveal much progress or improvement. Big surprise. She persisted and produced another report with an aspirational title called My Voice Shall Be Heard. 1 year after this report, in 2003, the Government of India decided to constitute a high-level committee under Justice Rajinder Sachar to study the status of SRC, socio-religious communities, primarily Muslims. In 2018, she organized a one-of-a-kind exhibition and colloquium called Pathbreakers, which we saw in the video that was shared, the 20th century Muslim women of India, to develop an awareness about the Muslim women who, during and after the independence movement, were at the forefront of nation building, but have remained largely unrecognized and invisible today. Dr. Saeeda Hamid, for your commitment to equity, justice, and lifting up the voices of our Muslim sisters in India, Apne Aap is proud to present you the Lasker Lifetime Achievement Award. Yeah.
Ruchira will be accepting the award on behalf of Saeeda. Yes. Oh yeah, thank you.
It's a great honor to compliment Apne Aap Worldwide Last Girl Awards. I regret that I'm not there in person, but my journey has coincided with the journey of the founder of Apne Aap, Ruchira Gupta. I have gone a long way, started in Kashmir, spent some part of my life in North America and the rest of my life in India, where I want to end my life in pursuit of the goals, the trials, the tribulations, the challenges that Apne Aap Worldwide has encountered. For me, being in this galaxy of awardees is a great honor. I am very humbled. I am a Muslim woman. I am an Indian. I am a world citizen. My heart bleeds for all the deprived, the unfortunate, the wretchedest people of the world. And today, my heart bleeds for Gaza, for the Palestinians who are encountering untold sufferings. The audience today, no doubt, I have no doubt, identifies with worldwide suffering, with the traumas, and especially the trauma that women and girl children are facing. I don't want to exclude the male children and the men, because after all we are one humanity. I think of my great-grandfather who was born in the year 1837, who spoke out for women's empowerment at that time, and who spoke out for the spirit, the real spirit of Islam, which is world peace, which is suffering of humanity as its goal. And his name was Altaf Hussain Ali. I follow his footsteps, and I follow the footsteps of many leaders, statesmen, humanists across the world, from all the countries of the world. I follow women and men who spoke out for humanity. And I feel that Apne Aap, girl children, the last girl awards also equally speak out for humanity. So I bow my head in submission and gratitude. Thank you.
Another round of applause for that beautiful message. And thank you to Mona. And now for our final award of the evening. Please join me in welcoming Elise Nelson to present the Last Girl Courage in Action Award. Elise is president and CEO at Vital Voices Global Partnership, a co-founder of the organization. Elise has spent over 27 years empowering women across the globe. Please join me in welcoming her to the stage, and we will be watching a video about our honoree, Nadia Murad. I just really want to say one thing, that I want to borrow words of our honoree, Nadia Murad, who we are so fortunate to have with us tonight, that the world must hear our voices. Now let's take a moment to watch the video that showcases her courage, resilience, and hope.
Officials in northern Iraq report that fighters of the Islamic militant group ISIS have carried out a massacre.
In between explosives laid by ISIS, entire sections of the city are destroyed.
We can see the people below, trapped on Sinjar Mountain.
ISIS soldiers would brag about conquering Yazidi women and wiping their religion from the face of the earth.
When I first began speaking out about conflict-related sexual violence, there was little global attention on this issue, even though it was and still is happening in wars around the world. In 2014, as I was preparing for my final year of high school, I witnessed a genocide. I lost loved ones and endured the trauma of captivity.
When you are systematically attacked for your religion, when you are separated from your family, forced to flee your home, when you are bought and sold, raped and beaten, and referred to as property, the greatest gift someone can give is to recognize your full humanity.
Survivors of sexual violence are often forgotten, their pain overlooked, their voices ignored. I founded Nadia's initiative to change that.
I dedicate this award to all the young women like me who were raised in vulnerable communities by strong women.
I wish I had the strength of Nadia. Having every reason to withdraw from the world, you summoned the courage to stand up and say, no, no.
Nadia Murad, a young woman that we at 60 Minutes found in a refugee camp in Iraq. She found her voice. This young woman that we found in a refugee camp won the Nobel Peace Prize.
She became a global voice for justice and dignity and a sense of common humanity.
Nobel Peace Prize is recognizing efforts to end sexual violence during wartime. It was awarded to Dr. Denis Mukwege and Nadia Murad.
Survivors are not just victims. They are leaders, healers, and change makers. Change is only possible when we work with them, not without them.
I think this is truly the honor, one of the greatest honors of my life, to have the opportunity to salute my good friend, Nadia Murad, and present her with this Last Girl Award. I'm Elise Nelson. I'm president and CEO of Vital Voices Global Partnership. We work with women leaders all around the globe, and I'm thrilled to be here to salute the work of Apnea because Ruchir Gupta has been on this journey with us at Vital Voices for 3 decades. I feel like I've grown up with her. Well, actually, I have. We have grown up together. Violence against women in all its horrific forms is the one thing, sadly, that connects us across the globe. No country in the world can say it's free from it. No woman from any socioeconomic background, culture, religion, community can say she is truly safe from it. But there is power in that connection. And I think that we've seen that tonight. As I was sitting and listening to these stories of these honorees and their journeys, how they've dedicated their lives to this. And I'm just in awe of all of you, so thank you. Thank you, really. Tonight, we are here, of course, to honor extraordinary women, and I am so honored to have the ability to salute my dear friend and partner, Nadia Murad, with this Last Girl Award of the night. As you saw from the film, Nadia is a hero. I have worked with 50,000 women leaders across 188 countries, and I can honestly tell you there is not a more deserving person this evening to receive this Last Girl Award. What did you call it? The Courage in Action Award, than Nadia Murad. You know, we think about the horrors of what Nadia went through, of what she witnessed in losing her family, the genocide on the Yazidi people. And I think, what would I have done? What would each of us have done? Think about that alone voice with no protection who decides to speak out, who doesn't move away and try and forget and heal and move on with their life and never speak of it, no, but to speak loudly, to have that courageous voice. Nadia has truly brought these issues of sexual violence and conflict to the world stage. She has brought the voices of the survivors to the center. The pain, she turned it into power. And that power has fueled her, and she has turned that pain into hope for so many survivors around the world. So on behalf of APNAAP, I am incredibly honored to present the Last Girl Award of the evening, the Courage in Action Award, to my dear friend, Nadia Murad. As Nadia takes the stage, I want to say one more thing. One of the great honors of my life is the fact that Nadia and I are birthday twins. Many years prior, of course, but nevertheless, thank you.
Good evening, and thank you so much to all of you for being here and for all the, nice words and introductions. And Alice, your support reached me when I was in a camp, and I didn't know you, but I just heard that an organization was supporting survivors of rape. And what I really admired about your work, even though I didn't know you, and the support was given to me through a Kurdish organization, it was that one time that I was not asked to go back and repeat what happened to me. And when you told me in DC when we met and you said that we were supporting that organization, it was just so special, and I immediately remembered. Because it was from, for you it was not just to send support and take photos of girls, but to make sure that it reached the most vulnerable, and I was one of them. But thank you all for having me. I'm really honored to be here. I have so many friends here, but growing up in a small village, I always dreamed of being the first girl in my village to open a beauty salon. In 2014, just before I began my final year of high school, ISIS invaded my peaceful village in Iraq. Thousands of women and girls, including my sisters, my nieces, my cousins, and myself, were taken into sexual slavery. And then, all I wanted was to be the last girl in the world with a story like mine. That is why the Last Girl Award feels very close to my heart, and I'm so honored to receive it. After escaping captivity, my story became both my burden and my source of power. Since then, I have traveled the world, sharing my experience and listening to the stories of countless women and girls. Listen to survivors when they are ready to share their stories. They may not be people with power, but they have powerful things to share. I have learned that the commodification of women's bodies is not confined to one country, one culture, or even conflict zones. When it comes to gender-based violence, its roots run deep, and its reach is vast. Too often, this epidemic is described in numbers and statistics. And while those figures are alarming, what matters most is that behind each one is a human being, a mother, a sister, a daughter, a friend, a child, each with dreams and aspirations. I have met so many of these women and girls. I have looked into their eyes, and I have seen the strength and resilience of survivors firsthand. But that alone is not enough. As individuals, as organizations, as institutions, and as governments, we must join them in their fight, wielding what I call weapons of the Spirit: truth, hope, and compassion. We must come together to protect the most vulnerable and to build a world ready to meet them as they rise. A world where there are no more stories like mine. Thank you so much for honoring me, and congratulations to all of you. I'm like, do I take it or?
Yes, you take it.
Thank you, Nadia.
as we conclude this segment of our award ceremony, I want to take a moment again to thank Nadia Murad for her extraordinary courage, resilience, and advocacy. And I'm moved by her strength. Thank you. Another round of applause, please, everybody. I feel there is courage and hope and emotion overflowing in this room. So let's take a moment to let words step aside and allow the power of music and movement to speak to our hearts. Let's let it flow through these amazing performances ahead of us. I'd like to request Ruchira to join us again on stage as we have a very special performance planned with Ruchira reciting excerpts of her book, The Freedom Seeker, and In Movement, Preeti Vasudevan. Please welcome them, everyone.
Tonight, at our family's Eid festival celebration, I have more reason than ever to celebrate. Dadi, my father's mother, opens the lid of her heirloom gramophone and places the needle on a vinyl record. Ina mina diga, daya damanika, makanaka aka, a melody from an old Bollywood song fills our living room. Dadu, my father's father, taps his walking stick to the music. The evening sun filters through the open French windows, casting a pinkish light on the Persian carpet inside. Dadi holds out her arms. Come, let's dance. I'll teach you the twist. It was very popular in my days. She throws her left hand up in the air, snapping her fingers to the rhythm, holding her balance with a walking stick in the other hand. I follow her moves. I twist to the left, then to the right, tripping up and down the silk Persian carpet. I'm about to twist way down, almost to the floor, when something crashes through the window into our living room. I jump back with a shriek, straight into the small table with the jug of lemonade. Coo, a quail bird cries. A car horn screeches. As the car drives away, I see the bumper sticker. It reads, "Com Bam," in large orange letters. My heart closes in and my toes curl inside my new silver slippers. My father, Abu, picks up the rock. There's a paper around it. He slowly unties the string and reads aloud. Cancel marriage between Sikh man and Muslim woman. Sikh and Hindu men are being lured to Islam with marriage. We will punish you. Go home. Beef eaters. A little later in the story, we watch in horror as the cap comes off and water flows out. Jose runs after it. Our water supply gone. My body falls to the sand and tears stream from my eye. I am shocked. There's any liquid in me at all? I don't look at Jose or Ammi. Just at the ground. My legs stretched ahead of me. I am sure we are walking to nowhere. I have never been so thirsty. Or parched. It's like a deep, spreading craving in every part of my body. For several moments, I don't notice anyone. Then I feel Ammi hug me. Lucia and Jose are sitting next to me. Baby Maria has fallen asleep. She is not waking. The only water we have is in the bottles in our backpack. Ammi pulls one out for me, and I notice Jose does the same for his baby sister. I take a few sips and sprinkle my bottle on Maria's body. She revives. But I know we still have many hours to go. Maybe days. Our supply won't be enough.
Thank you, Ruchira, for reading us an excerpt from The Freedom Seeker, and to Preeti Vasudevan for her interpretation. And now I would like to welcome Natalia, who has been accompanying us with music this evening, to sing us a song of freedom.
Orillo del pecho, cántame el canto del corazón. Ay, pajarillo del pecho, cántame el canto del corazón, porque en tus ojos florece el día, florece el sol, porque en tus ojos florece el día, porque en tus alas florece el sol. Ay, golondrina del pecho blanco, ya conociste la libertad. Ay, golondrina del pecho blanco, ya conociste la libertad. Tú ya danzaste con los poetas, con el agua, el viento y el mar. Tú ya danzaste con los poetas, con el agua, el viento y el mar. Guay, ray, 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 ray. Guay, ray, 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 ray. Guay, ray, 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 ray. Guay, ray, 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 ray. Ray, 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 ray. Guay, ray, 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 ray. Ray, 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 ray. Guay, ray, 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 ray. Ay, ay, madre cósmica de los tiempos, madre de vida, madre aural, eres una inmensa flama que ilumina mi destino. Por eso canto a lo divino, mágica fuerza del amor. Por eso canto a lo divino, mágica fuerza del amor. El grito de mi jardín, lleno de vida, viniste a cantar. Ay, jilguerito de mi jardín, lleno de vida, viniste a cantar. Palos sagrados altos hemos venido a saludar. En nuestras flores y cantos los vamos a honrar. Los vamos a honrar.
Thank you, Natalia, for serenading us with the Song of Freedom. I'd love for all of you to give a warm welcome to Neha Vashi, a member of Apne Aap Advisory Board, with ability and aptitude to navigate both the branding world and the social justice world. Please welcome Neha to stage as she will be speaking of the call to action.
Hi, everyone. I'm Neha. I'm so honored here that Ruchira, lets me do this call to action every year. And it's really a privilege to be here with everyone. I've been a big fan of Ruchira for all these years, and I'm so happy that Apne Aap is flourishing and helping the last girl. We have 2 kids, and I really hope that all the stories that I heard today, I just hope that our kids and our kids' never have to be this brave. And we never have to stand up on stage and talk about these courageous stories. And, truly, because this is why supporting Apne Aap and supporting Ruchira is so important. I work in innovation and design, and I'm here because, as someone who leads future innovation and future design, it's not just about creating products. Ruchira has created an innovation, and Ruchira has created a whole strategy on how can she ensure that the future we build is inclusive, it's equitable, and it's just. And she's created new ways to make a positive impact. Apne Aap, is a perfect example. Ruchira and her team have been fighting very creatively and in very impactful ways to fight sex trafficking, uplift the voices of the most vulnerable. Their approach not only transforms the individual lives of these girls and women, but also creates the ripples of change that affects entire communities. As we gather here tonight, I just want to remind everyone that the fight for justice, the fight to end sex trafficking, is not just something that a few people can do. It has to be a collective effort if we don't want to stand up here on stage and talk about the courageous stories, because it has ended once and for all. And for it to end once and for all, we need to give, of course, our time. We need to donate our money, donate our time, donate our skills to Ruchira and organizations like Ruchira that can continue the work so that no girl or woman or boy will ever have to be in the position of being sex trafficked or marginalized. So I'm really calling on all of us today to continue supporting and contributing to the cause. Whether it's big or small, every single effort that we make to help, people like Ruchira and all of the amazing women and men that have stood on stage today is going to help. So I just wanna say a big thank you to you, Ruchira, for everything that you do, and we continue on.
It's an incredible evening, and we've often said it's about stories, but those stories are so personal. And that's something that we each bring, is the personal, to make that a part of community to take action. And I think we're all here because that's what we believe, and that's what we're trying to do together. Apne Aap is doing amazing work. Everyone who got an award and everyone who spoke is also a part of what I think is community, and that's where the strength is. It's also part of the institution here at Asia Society. And I just feel it is so important. And one of the words that came up the most often for me is common humanity. Common humanity. What is it we share? What is it that's common? And how can we keep this in the forefront of our brains and our hearts? So another big hand for all of the awardees. And let's have a moment where we're personal with each other, and join us upstairs for the reception. Also, if you would like to get one of the books that were mentioned, I would love you to stop by the table. And Ruchira has offered to sign books. Also Nadia. So also, let's find community together upstairs. Thank you so much for being here.